You aren't gonna believe our vintage plate wall. We spent the last year collecting some of the craziest, rarest, hardest to find, most expensive plates that barely exist out there, including one of the rarest plates of all, a Jackson barbell from Erie.
Massenomics.
All right, time to show you off the vintage plate wall. Tanner here, Tommy's behind the camera. Tommy's gonna help me out as we go, help me fill in the blanks. We're gonna start at the bottom of the vintage plate wall and work our way up. But first, a note on how this happened. Check out our gym tour with Big Efren. We did a gym tour and specifically a vintage weight plate tour with him. Watch those videos. We went there. I absolutely got influenced, and this happened over the last year. What we're gonna go through here is what happened because of that. He wasn't the only one that influenced me. There were several others. Let's jump into the plates, and then I'll talk about some of those others as we get going here too. Probably the least vintage in the plate wall, but still one of the closest to near and dear to my heart is the Strength plate. Smooth, easy to grip, made in the United States of America by a Marine Corps Major, Big Grant, our friend. That's always going to have a place for me on the plate wall, and you can still buy those today. And I do think someday, people say, what are going to be the vintage weights of the future? Well, it's going to be the made in America, classic look, iron plates like the Strength that have a cool story behind them. So that's kind of why the Strength plates belong on this plate wall, my plate wall. This is my plate wall, so if you're questioning it, I get to make those final calls. The Rogue one, the other more modern plate on the wall, I don't have to say much other than it's got Arnold on it, right? Like that's kind of a timeless classic. You're talking about what's going to be vintage someday or what's going to be cool someday when it's old. That's going to be cool someday when it's, I mean, that's cool now.
Yeah.
It's got Arnold on it. It doesn't get much more iconic than that. And then not as modern, but kind of bridging the gap between vintage and not is the other plate that we use in Massenomics Gym is the York milled plate. These are readily available. You can find them on the used market still all the time. They cost between $1 and $2 a pound. I still love the York plate, the milled plate. It's milled. I guess I could show you some of this stuff. That's why it's milled. This is a particularly cool looking mill on the back of this one.
Yeah.
Some of these are different, but this one's got a really cool mill mark on it, on the back of these. And we've got, I've got like 20 pairs of these over on the other side of the gym that we still use.
And someone has painted the letters, like you'll see that on some of these, right?
Yeah,
like
that's old paint, I would say. Some of the stuff is new paint, some of the stuff is old paint, some of the stuff is original paint. That's one thing that can vary on the value of these plates is it original or not? This is original plus that. This doesn't even matter too much on the value. Like, these are not expensive plates. As we go up the list, we'll kind of get more and more expensive here, more and more rare as we scale to the top of the plate wall. You have to use band pegs. Like, when I want to get new plates up there, that's what I do is I scale it. I'm like a rock climber in here with the vintage plate wall. Starting back on this side now, the universal plates, not super rare. These maybe cost $150 or $200 for a pair. I'm going to throw out numbers on stuff as close as I can remember. I'm not also the expert in this. I kind of know about it, but if you want an expert, talk to Efren, talk to Vintage Weights Rob, talk to Brick, talk to Old Chicago Iron AP on Instagram. These are all people that have helped me throughout this process. So I'm just a student of the game, and I don't know everything. I'm probably going to say like 10 things that are wrong, but most of you won't know the difference. Just those guys will know. But I just like these.
It's a cool look.
Not super rare collectible.
It's a cool font on there.
But I just like those.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Those are one on the list that I'm like, yes, I want those on my wall. It just adds to the wall. I think it looks cool.
Also American made, I'm assuming, on those? Or
I don't think so.
Okay. How old are those?
Okay.
Do you know?
Here's a great resource. This is actually a cool feature of the plate wall, and it's timely with your question that you ask. I might reference it on a couple things, actually. So the Iron Guide is what Efren, a book that he puts out, an ebook that you can buy. Well, I printed it off, and I have the page for every plate on my wall. I have the page. So
people can actually see what the story is.
You asked about
Universal.
Universal. Here we are. My Universal page. and he grades them. He produced by the legend. I'm not going to read off of this, but just for as an example, produced by the legendary Harold Zinkin, who founded Universal Gym Equipment in the late 1950s.
There you go.
So the guy that made the plates was American. I'm not sure if it says Los Angeles. I'm not sure if they were Chinese sourced or if he actually made them in there. I think that this is sort of a giveveaway to me that they possibly were, but I'm not sure. The American Olympian barbell plates, no guesswork of where those were made, though. These have been newly painted, not super expensive either. You know, these are maybe a couple $100 a pair. But I just thought that these looked awesome. I like the American script on it. The lettering on this is cool. Whoever repainted it, I just think it looks good. And that's another one, not super expensive, but I just like them. I think they're cool. And also, I wanted to fill this plate wall out, but I wasn't going to spend thousands of dollars on every pair of plates. So I was kind of after what's a certain look to it to make this be the way that it is. That's where these would fit in also. One of my favorite plates on the wall.
Really cool, yeah.
The Schistler Eagle 45s. I'm actually quite sure I got these from Gluck. So here's another name to throw out in this video. I got those from Gluck, sent me those. Those were something he had in his collection. At some point in time, I do want to upgrade these to a blue pair. These came in blue, so I'll get the blue Schistler Eagle original paint and probably replace these gray ones with the blue ones at some point. But that's an iconic look with the eagle on it there. These Thor plates, these were made in Canada. This is some weird story where you can see this looks a little like this, like the York 4-spoke. This was something maybe like a partnership with York, Canada. They weren't made for a super long time. These have definitely been repainted, but I just think the Thor is cool. The Vonco OMC OM Chrome plates. These are kind of I'm going to pull these off. These are like the iconic chrome plate.
Especially when it comes to powerlifting. Like, this is an iconic plate in the history of that.
So I kind of felt like I had to. This is one pair that I really wanted. These depend a lot on condition, which mine are not on awesome condition. The chrome in some of them gets really bad. You can see like around the hub how it's chipped off there. You can see where can you see where it says M series?
It's super shiny. It's kind of hard to focus.
Well, it says M series around the hub there, but mine aren't in great condition. But that's okay. I wasn't really going for like all the nicest of condition plates on the wall. They all have a different vibe to them.
You want to see a great condition set? Look at Efren's weight tree.
Yes, and that's very high end also. These are one of my, maybe I'll just say this about every pair. These are another one of my favorite pairs on the wall. Not because they're super expensive. These are maybe $200 to $300 a pair, but the giant lettering on this.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Are really cool. And someone painted those yellow. So this is old paint again, not original.
Weathered look though. It looks so good on there.
Yeah, and it's like this plate wall wouldn't look as cool if every plate was the exact same color gray with nothing on it. I probably even need more color on it if I was to be critical, but
that's a cool set.
I do like those. Then these last two rows, we get into stuff that is a little bit more rare. The BFCO. These are particularly cool because these are ones you might have seen Arnold lifting back in the day. These are one of the brands at like Gold's Gym or maybe even Muscle Beach, a little bit of both. The Bell Foundry Co. in California. So these are kind of sought after. You can get these for maybe $400 or $500 a pair. Starting to get a little more expensive though. They don't look that cool though, if I'm being honest.
No, you wouldn't.
Compared to some of these other ones
I didn't know the story on those.
They don't look that cool, but they're kind of valuable for those other reasons.
Yeah,
not necessarily
they have
the way they look.
History.
Yeah, and then I'm going to switch over to this one, which I think is fairly comparable to the BFCO in terms of like price and collectability. The Marcy 45s. And the interesting thing about the Marcy 45, you can see the chalk on here. These are a great introductory plate to hub lifting because it's just the size of this hub and it's like completely vertical, so you can actually grab the hub pretty easily. So you might have to try that.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, is that hard to do?
Oh, we've got a couple grip experts in the gym right now. Actually, Anthony and Caden might need to bust out the Marcy plate to do a little hub lifting here in a little bit. Atlas plates. These are more expensive than the last ones. These ones are $900 or $1,000 a pair, something like that. These are made in Canada. I think they were after some other brand, Gagnon. I can't remember. I'm making stuff up at this point. Like, I'm not I want to emphasize that too. I'm not like an ultimate historian on this. I just like what I like. I think it's cool, and I think when I can find a cool story. I bought this from a French-Canadian guy that has a very strong accent, and that was part of what I liked coming from the story.
Part of the whole experience.
Yeah, it's part of the whole experience. The top row, the rarest plates in the collection. Maybe I'll start. These are what you would consider the gold standard in a vintage plates collection, is the York deep dish pair of 45s up there in the top left corner. Those will always be a top row item for me no matter what. Not my most expensive monetarily pair of vintage weights. I've actually got another pair of them on the other side of the gym, but those are the classic.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, those, if you're going to collect vintage weights, you kind of have to have a pair of those. What I don't have is a marked pair of 45s, though. That would have like these are marked. You see it's got that 45 on it. We'll actually talk about those. My York are not 45s. If you remember back from the Efren video, he's got a pair of these on the wall. He's also got a pair that looks exactly like it, but they have a little tiny 45 on it. Yep. The 45 adds like $500 of value.
Because of course.
Because of course it does. Now the two shining stars of the collection would be the Paramount barbell 45, so that's a marked set of Paramounts. Those are pretty rare. Those are also original paint, and really nice original paint.
Yeah, it is.
Those are expensive. I won't say the exact amount on that because it gets into the level where it all depends on these, like especially these top two. Like these are like almost this is where Efren's collection starts, almost kind of like here and up. And it gets into a price range where it just doesn't even matter if you have the money. You have to like know someone that you can get them from.
There's just so few examples in the world.
There's just very few out there that exist. So it becomes a little bit different than just the money itself at that point. But the Paramount 45s, I kind of thought I was done there. I didn't need anything else equally expensive or as rare or harder to find. Then the coolest deal ever popped up. The Jackson Erie 45s, Joe's Gym in Erie, Pennsylvania. You can check out Vintage Weight Rob's channel on this. He's got an interview with Joe and where he goes through the gym there, and he was selling off some of his personal collection. What happened is Andy Jackson sold the company to Joe in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he started making these Jackson plates. These are the Erie Jacksons then, that's why, because Erie, Pennsylvania. And they were actually, I think, machined on the front side of the plate rather than the back side of the plate is one of the ways you can tell. But they still have the lead weight pockets in them. And these were autographed by Joe himself. So a few of these came up. I only got these. I mean, you couldn't get these if you wanted to. It's the honest answer of that. What I paid for them is not all that relevant because you couldn't get them no matter what. The only reason I got them is because I've been friends with Efren, Rob, Brick, all those guys.
You knew some guys.
I knew some people, and they said, would you be interested in a pair? Not that they were given away to me by any means, but there again, the money's only one thing. You got to be able to have the connection to get them. So that's kind of the vintage weights thing. You get around the community long enough, you start to pick up more. Is it a total waste of money? Probably. Probably it is. It's any collecting in general. It's this weird thing where the values of stuff are all made up. It doesn't make any. Would you say? I mean, it's kind of like collecting anything, though, right?
Yeah.
Like
everyone knows someone that collects something, and you're like, yeah, man, I don't get it.
The value's all made up. It's only because other people, a group of people, have decided that's what it's worth. So, is it a total waste of money? I mean, it's not to me because I like the stuff. To someone that's not interested in it, yes, it is a total waste of money, isn't it? Kind of like that's.
I mean, sort of. That's collectors in general.
Yeah, that's collectors. But I like it. I'm really happy with it. A couple of their notes on the construction of it. I used bells of steel uprights, 109-inch, 3x3 1-inch, and you said that's what, Tommy?
That is the Manticore.
The Manticore
series.
bells of steel. We also have affiliate links, like for bells of steel. Not many affiliate links for Jackson, Barbell, Paramount, BFCO, Marcy, all these other defunct companies. But We do have some affiliate links for like Bells of Steel.
And how did you arrive on the Bells of Steel though? What was?
Yeah, so I was looking for an upright of a certain height because I was kind of doing the math of how far away I could put the plates and how much room I had in this gym. And you can see how this plate wall actually kind of perfectly fits below the ceiling here in the gym and underneath this pillar. And it allows for 3 wide by 5 high and pretty evenly spaced, you know, if you take in the way the plates go. So I wanted something that height. And then I used their 17-inch spacers, which also kind of worked out perfectly. But then I Frankensteined it a little bit. I added these Rogue feet on the bottom of it because I didn't want feet that came out very far.
Yeah.
I just wanted feet because you'll see I didn't tether this to the wall. This is not tethered to the wall at all. What it is bolted into the floor. Larry Legend came and hammer drilled it down for me once I got it in place.
That's how you know it's not going anywhere.
That's how you know it's not going anywhere because Larry did it, the man himself. The other things I added, some of these pins are different. Everything's got a story on this wall. These are Bremy Strong, supporting member Bremy on these pins. These red pins are 3D printed by Darko. These are Darko pins on this part of it. So there's a variety of stuff there. The other thing I added is the light behind it.
Yeah.
This has probably been changing lights. It's the Sexy Time lights that go behind it. And you can control those from my phone. If anyone wants to know what it is, it's just something I got from Walmart. It's Monster Smart Lighting is the app, and you can change, if you can remember your password, you can change the way.
So when you turn the lights off in here, it really glows.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, baby.
Just like that. It just magically the lights came off. Yeah. So that's the vintage weights wall. What did I miss on it, Tommy? Are you going to go out and start a vintage weights wall for your home gym?
I am not. I have a lot of things on my wish list before the vintage plate. I can respect the game, however, though.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, I didn't understand it at all. Now I
understand it way more than you want to.
I understand it way more than I ever thought I would. I can relate to why people would like it, but yeah, it's not in the future for me right now.
Future for me, if I was to get one more pair, it would be Weeder cross hubs. I would add those to the collection if someone's going to ask me what I would add. That would be what I'd add, and probably the blue ones because there's a blue color. I'd like to add original plate blue Weeder cross hubs or maybe a different color. I'm not too worried about that, but that would be one addition I would make to it. But if I add something, something's got to go. That's kind of the problem. If something would go, it'd be the Meal Yorks. I just throw those on the other side of the. I like them there as the story, as the transition, the piece of the story where you journey up the top of the ladder and you
climb the mountain.
Yeah, you climb the mountain. It's lonely on top. That's it from the vintage plate wall. Told you about checking out our affiliate codes. Please do that. This is a certified training facility here in Massenomics Gym. We would like you to become a certified training facility. Also, go to massenomics.com/certified. See if you pass the test. You get yourself on the map. You get yourself a special certification flag and certificate. It's a cool program that we got going, so check that out. The number one way, though, that you can support Massenomics besides buying some sweet merch from us is becoming a supporting member. You can do that at massenomics.com/join. It is the number one way that keeps everything going. It keeps the lights on, even though they shut off for a second there. It does keep the lights on when you become a supporting member. Please consider it if you're not already. And we got a whole bunch more gym tours coming up down the pike. Make sure you're following along. Leave a comment. What's your favorite plate on the wall? We'll see you for the next tour.